and citations in social science research, or in other words, simply we can call it as how to write the reference in social science research. Because this is most important component in any format of research. Because we are doing a good research. But today is the era of innovations, not the inventions. Majority of the work, you know the difference between innovations and inventions. This is in my first slide. I'm talking about a famous quote of Shiv Khera. Today is the era of specialization. That is, don't do different things, but do the things differently.
So put it full screen. That PPT, please put it full screen.
Okay. 1 minute.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ಅದು ಯಾರು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರು?
ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್.
ರೇಣುಕಯ್ಯ ಸರ್.
ನಮ್ಮ ರೇಣುಕಯ್ಯನ
ರೇಣುಕಯ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಅದೇ ರೇಣುಕಯ್ಯನ ವಾಯ್ಸೇ ಅದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಮುನ್ರಾಜ್ ತರ ಸೌಂಡು.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we
now
have.
It's okay.
Now it is okay, Professor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Yes, we have discussed. We can. Today is the era of specialization, not the general things. In that format, Shiv Khera has given a Shiv Khera, a famous management guru, says we need to do. We don't do the different things, but do the things differently. Means today is the era of specialization. You can find innovative ways of doing the same thing in different formats, in different way. That is the concept of this. Today, research means we can say creation of or finding new features to the existing knowledge. That we will call it as invention. Finding a new thing, inventing a new thing is called innovation, invention. Innovation means we can alteration of the existing products. Alteration of the existing product, that we can call it as innovation. In that way, majority of the research all across the globe, particularly in Japan. Japan is known for innovation, not for invention. Germans are known for invention, means finding it. That is why if you open the Google, more than 90% of the total products that will be in the format of OEMs. Original equipment manufacturers. Germans are known for invention. Japanese are known for innovation. Here in case of research, all across the globe, we are involving in alteration of the existing product. In that angle, the concept of research is moving. In that way, we need to focus more on manufacturing or adding a new features to the existing knowledge is the concept of don't do the different things, but do the things differently. That is the major concept of research all across the globe today. In the next, research methodology. I will come to the concept of documentation and citations later. Research methodology, as you know, it is a systematic approach to conduct the research encompassing the strategies, procedures, and techniques. There are three important ways. Mainly, collection of the data, analysis of the data, presentation of the data, and concluding the data is the systematic approach of research methodology. In humanities and social sciences, formulating a problem, particularly collection of the data, processing of the data, performing analysis and interpretation of the arranged data, finally, the most important thing, arriving the conclusion is the most important and challenging job, particularly when there is an absence of well-defined parameters. For example, well-defined parameters means if there is a set standard procedures are there, it is easy for us to reach that set standard of procedures. In humanities, social sciences, and commerce, as you have seen all across the globe, there is no set standard procedures. For any research, in mathematics, we can say 2 plus 2 is 4. In commerce, it is not possible to say 2 plus 2 is 4. Management is both science and arts, we can say. Sometimes those who are well-versed in art subject, they will define the management, the concept of management in this area. If management person is dealing with the concept of research, his elaborations are totally different. That means to say, in social science, humanities, commerce, and management, we are not having a well-defined parameters like mathematics or science. In that situation, collection of the data, analysis of the data, interpretation of the data, present the collected data in the finished format is a very tough job. That is why we can say we in commerce and management area, we can say well-defined, when there is no well-defined parameters, collected data can be presented in a systematic manner is a very difficult. In such a situation, how we can deal with the problems, how we can derive the solution for the problem is the most important issue in social science research. Here in social science research, while choosing the research topic, there are three important options. If you are going for conducting your research, either maybe a postdoctoral fellow or maybe a doctoral fellow, doctoral degree or any type of research, there are three important alternatives. One is sometimes research supervisor will give the topic to the research students and it is easy for the research student to proceed with the topic of research. Secondly, the guide may give the candidate a list of topics, maybe in the form of marketing management, maybe in the human resource management, or in the finance, or in the other areas which is related to the guide will give the list of topics on the priority of the research guide. In such a situation, choosing or selecting the topic is left to the research student. Third way of choosing the research topic is complete freedom is given to a candidate when he is asked to choose the topic he likes. That is most important. As per the guide preference, research supervisor preference are different. Research student preferences are different. In such a situation, research student will choose the topic. That topic has to be accepted by the guide. Then it is easy for the research student to continue the process of research. The second step here in this case of research is concerned, collection of the above. If the sufficient amount of material is not available in that particular data, which is given in the first case and second case, it is very difficult for the research candidate to choose the topic and also collect the required information to complete his or her research credentials. As I already discussed this, research means original contribution. Research means search for knowledge through objective and systematic method of finding a solution to the problem. This is most important. Systematic way of finding a solution to the problem. In other words, we can say original contribution to the existing stock of knowledge, making it advancement. This is most original contribution to the existing knowledge is there. But being a researcher, we need to contribute original things, original attributes to the existing stock of knowledge. This is more that we can, in other words, we can say, we can call it as a innovation. Nextly, and before we can go for the concept of documentation and citations, I will give a brief introduction about the process of research or how we can make a plan for conducting a research. Yes, I have listed out, there are 7 steps of research. One is formulating the research problem. You have a topic in your hand. Topic is there in your hand. But how to formulate, how to identify the problem in your topic? How to identify the need for the study? Because on the same topic, hundreds of research work has been already done. But you have to identify a new dimension, that is 101, that is 101, you are the 101. In that case, it is the duty of the research candidate to formulate the research problem, identify the need for the study is the first and foremost important thing. You have a topic on your hand. What is the duty of the researcher? Identifying the new dimension on the topic. Because work has already done on the topic. But it is the duty of the researcher to identify new dimension for that particular topic. Then, secondly, on the topic you have selected, on the topic the research student has selected, he has to give a extensive literature survey. He has to collect what are all the dimensions. I have given the 100 papers have been published on the same topic. It is the duty of that particular researcher to identify a new dimension, to identify the new dimension to the existing problem, existing research topic. What are all the work happened in that particular area is the most important thing. That is why the concept of review of literature is a most important thing before you conduct the pilot study on the chosen topic. Third step in the format of research is developing a hypothesis. Yes, you know the meaning of the concept of hypothesis. Yes, you know, testable predictions about the relationship between the two or more variables. Testable predictions. Because it is not real. Hypothesis, before conducting a research, you have something is there in your hand, in your mind. For example, we can say, if there is a good rain, definitely there will be a good crop in that particular area. Maybe this statement may be true, may not be true. Because general prediction is, if there is a good rainfall in that particular season, definitely there will be a good crop. There are certain exceptions are also there in that statement. What is that exception? If there is a too much of rain, so many adverse effects on their cropping system. Firstly, seed may not germinate. Soil erosion can happen. Floods may happen. These predictions we will not expect in that case. That is why, what is the hypothesis? We need to put forth certain positive opinions about that particular topic, hypothesis. That we will call it as the development of hypothesis. If there is a good rain, there will be a good or better crop. This we can classify it as a alternative. There are two classifications. One is, you can participate. There are two types of hypothesis. One is
Null hypothesis and
Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis.
okay. One of you can elaborate. If there is a good rain, there will be a good crop. Whether it is a alternative hypothesis or null hypothesis.
alternative, sir.
Alternative hypothesis, sir.
Alternative hypothesis.
Positive things. If you predict it in a positive manner, it is an alternative hypothesis. Exceptions are the null hypothesis.
Null hypothesis.
That is why in the process of research, we need to predict some good things on the chosen topic, on the selected topic. That we will call it as, because the concept of development of hypothesis is a big issue, but this is the third and most important step in the process of research. Fourthly, we need to prepare the research design. You have chosen your topic. You have studied the reference materials in the form of review of literature. What is the most important step? 100 research has been already happened in that particular topic. Now we are going to conduct 101th research, which is a new dimension to the existing research. You need to prepare research design on the selected topic. In research design consisting of mainly 4 important issues. One is, you need to select the geographical area where you are planning to conduct a research. First point. Geographical area. You have a topic in your hand. You need to select, because you cannot conduct the survey on all India basis. Collection of the data, because in our commerce and management, we need to specify the area. That we will call it as selection of in the research design. First and foremost important step is identifying the geographical area. Geographical area may be micro, may be macro. For example, you can say Mysore district. Cropping pattern or production and marketing of coconut in Mysore district is your topic, for example. You have restricted your area to the Mysore district. That is your geographical area. Then second one is sources of data. Mainly, normally, we are going for both primary data as well as the secondary data. In the process of research design, first process is selection of the geographical area. Second process is, what are the ways and means I can collect the data for my research topic? Third one is, And most important one is, what is your sample size? That we will call it as sample design and sample size. Because you cannot conduct the research on the, even if you have selected the Mysore district as your geographical area, you cannot collect the data all across Mysore district. You need to specify the sample size. As statistics says that at least you can have 10% of the total population is your sample size. That is, selection of the sample size is the third and most important component in the research design. Fourthly and most importantly, you have your data. Your data has been collected as per your research requirement. Now, you need to put the data in the presentable format by using the statistical tools. What are the tools and techniques you are using for? You are using it for that, we will call it as collection of the data, execution of the data. Eighth point, that is collection of the data is the sixth step. Seventh step is execution of the project. That we will discuss it later. That is fourth important step in the research design is, what are the tools and techniques you are using it for your analysis of the data? Maybe it depends upon the nature of the, if you are using the, it depends upon if your data is statistical analysis, you have to use some statistical tools like that ANOVA, Citation, and various design. So in some cases, you are using it, you are taking Likert scale as your statistical tools. In some research, we are presenting our research output in the format of tables itself. Tables and graph itself is the statistical tool. It depends upon the type of research. Then fifth step is determining the sample design. Of course, we have already, sample design is a part of total population. And also the sixth step is collection of the data. After collecting the data, you need to execute the project. Then eighth step is analysis of the data. And ninth step is developing working hypothesis and testing of hypothesis. You need to test the hypothesis because you need to get the positive result on the topic of your research. And next step is interpretation of the data. How to interpret your data? Because that is the most important component in research, interpretation of your collected data. Lastly, that we will, because it is a one topic, we can elaborate, we can discuss these matters in one or two classes. It is a different issue. Last aspect is preparation of the report. That is most important. Preparation of the report. There is preliminary pages. We can make it three components, three parts. One is preliminary pages. Second one, main text. Third one is end matter. Normally, in preliminary pages, majority of the research materials are secondary data only. In main contest, we are presenting the collected data in the presentable format. That we will call it as the main text. Lastly, the end matter, there is findings, conclusions, suggestions, policy implications, and references. Or bibliography is, writing of a bibliography is a most important component in the format of research. Now, okay, now we are, there is what is the last step? Last step in the process of research is how to write a reference. How to write a bibliography in your thesis. Because that is the most important component. Why? You have started your research research in the year 2025. You are submitting your thesis in the year 2029. But you need to write in the references whatever the source which you have collected in the year 2025. That is most important. In research, documentation, that we will call it as, we need to, what is the importance of the documentation and citation is, we need to present the source which has been collected in the year 2025 must be presented in the year 2029 when the thesis, when you are going to present a.
Excuse me, sir. Nandan, sir, please mute your audio.
Okay, all you can mute your system, and you can, yes, and when you want to participate, you can open up your this thing. Okay, in research, documentation, I think you have understood the concept of why documentation, why citation is required in the process of research. Documentation and citation refers to the practice of acknowledging the source of information used in a research paper or a project. This includes providing a specific details about the sources. Proper documentation and citation are crucial for giving a credit to the original author. Just you see, proper documentation and citation is crucial for giving credit to the original author and allowing readers to verify the information and avoiding plagiarism. That is the most important issue. I cannot say I have taken some information from Philip Kotler and you have put the same text in your thesis, in your dissertation. You cannot say it is my quote. I have given you in the first, in the initial stages, don't do different things. Do the things differently. It is the quote of whom? Shiv Khera, a management guru. If I use that quote in my thesis, and I can say, this is my quote, I have written this. No. You have to give due credit to Shiv Khera only. In your bibliography, you need to write the reference of this quote has been taken from Shiv Khera book. That is the concept of documentation and citation in research. That means to say, we need to give due credit to the original author. You need to write the reference wherever you have taken the information. Otherwise, what will happen? It leads to amount of avoid this plagiarism. Plagiarism is a criminal offense. Plagiarism is a criminal offense. Here, as we read the books, this is the first step of how to write the reference. As we read the book or journal, we are not only take notes, but also write down the important sentences and passages word by word. Such borrowed should be properly acknowledged. If you read the book, you are taking the quote, you are taking the passages, you are taking the words, you are taking the sentences. All those things has to be acknowledged to the original author. So we note down the how to write, how to acknowledge. Here the most important thing is we need to write the author name. We need to write the book name or journal name. We need to write the place of publication of the book or journal. Then the name of the publisher. You must need to write in the reference, we need to write the name of the publisher. And the date of publication, that is also most important, when that information has been published by the original author. And also, most importantly, how many number of pages from which the passage is taken, from which page that information has been taken. These are all the things which we need to write it when we are acknowledging it to the original author. The purpose of documentation. Any information you use in research, paper, essay, speech, or like, which is not of your own idea, must be documented or given credit to. This is most fundamental concept. Any information you are using in a research paper, you are writing a research paper, you have taken the source from some book, essays, you are writing the essay, you are speaking something in a public speech, and the like which of your own idea, not of your own idea, must be documented or given credit. In this way, let your reader know, your reader must know what words and ideas are yours and what was borrowed from someone else. This is the concept. Why we need to acknowledge what words are yours, what words are borrowed from the someone else. That is why we need to document, we need to acknowledge. Documentation, through documentation, you are also providing the way to a reader to retrieve the source you are using. Your reader may be fascinated by a material and wish to read further, or your reader may question your use of material and wish to check up on you. That is also a most important thing. And also, your accurate documentation of the material will protect you. Definitely it will protect you. Otherwise, it is a criminal offense to borrow. Okay? Borrow and not giving a credit. All of you, you can mute your system. Mute your sound system. You help to reputation of a competent and credible researcher or a writer. This is most important. If a researcher is a true researcher, a writer is a true researcher, definitely you will acknowledge the original source where that information has been taken. Then, the most importantly, the purpose of documenting the original source is to meet the academic honesty, because we are all academicians. We cannot say, there is a provision to borrow from some other source, but we need to give a due credit. To maintain the academic honesty in terms of documentation, that is not stolen from author's idea and misrepresented them. This is, you see, not stolen author's ideas and misrepresented them as your own. You have given due credit where the credit is due. That is the most important thing. Yes, most of the areas of life, let common sense and common courtesy rule and helps to keep you from inadvertently committing an act of plagiarism. In research, there is no scope for plagiarism. There is no scope for stolen things. If there is a provision to stolen or something, but it has to be acknowledged. That is the whole purpose of documentation and citation. Not documenting a source amounts to plagiarism. Not documenting a original source amounts to a plagiarism. Plagiarism is the theft of author words, ideas, or thoughts, and misrepresentation of them as your own. I have written this. It is my quote. Philip Kotler says, in one quote, he has given a famous quote. Marketing starts before production starts. It is his quote. Philip Kotler says, while teaching in my class, I can say, with all sorts of seriousness, I will teach to my student, being I am taking, dear students, nowadays, marketing starts before production starts. It is true. You need to market the product. Before launching a product, we need to test the product. We need to do so many preliminary formalities before launching the product. That quote has been given. Marketing starts before production starts. It is the quote of whom? It is a quote of the Philip Kotler. I need to refer his name while teaching in the classroom. Otherwise, what will it will indicate? Theft of author words, ideas or thoughts, and misrepresentation of them. Our students say, oh, our teacher has given a very good quote. Very good quote. Marketing starts before production starts. Students don't know. This is the quote of the Philip Kotler. That should not happen in research. That is why we need to maintain the academic honesty in the process of research. What should you document? This once in the whole class of today, the purpose of documenting is why we need to document, because I have started my research process in the year 2025 July. I am submitting my thesis in the month of December 2029. Whatever the material which I have taken, which I have read, must be documented, and finally that material, reference material, must be put it in your thesis in the year 2029 at the time, because writing the reference is at the end part of any thesis, you know, right? Writing the references, writing the bibliography is the end part of any research work. I am talking about that part. Okay. What should you document? What are all the things you not document when you read the book, when you read the journal, when you read the newspaper, when you read the magazine, when you read any written or online material? You need to document. These are the important things. One is document any material you quote exactly. You need to document any material you quote exactly from where that quote has taken. Secondly, document any material you summarize or parenthesize. You are summarizing, you are abstracting, you are reading a book. You have put that whole book of 100 pages in the format of summary. That we can call it as abstract that book. You need to document that. Where that document, because you are reading, you are writing references, you are writing review of literature. Review of literature, you cannot represent that review on your own. When you read an article, you have written a summary of that article, or summary, or we can say abstract of that article, and you need to write the original author name, publisher. I have given, I will put it in other. Then third point is, do not document the material that is of common knowledge. Common knowledge. Common knowledge means, as I have said, if there is a good drawing, there is a good crop. This is not a quote of anybody. It is a common sense. It is everybody, common man's predictions. This year, if there is a good drawing, if there is a good drawing, there will be a, it is a, do not document any material that is of common knowledge. Common knowledge. There is no, if that para has been taken some book, if there is a good drawing, there will be a good crop. That should not be documented. Original author name should not be documented. Then lastly, Do not document your opinions or unique ideas. That is also important in research. You have a unique idea, unique opinion. That your unique opinion, you are putting it in your research thesis. That should not be, your name should not be included in your thesis, in your research work. Your research work has to be referred by somebody. He or she will quote your opinion. That is why do not document your opinions or unique ideas on your own research. This should be what should you document, what you are not supposed to document in your research output. Nextly, we can say documentation styles. What are the styles of documentation in different disciplines? Because in humanities, in social sciences, in science, in engineering, in medical area, there are different documentation styles. If you quote a few documentation styles, first one is modern language association, writing of references in the format of MLA, modern language association style. Secondly, American Psychological Association style. They have given the style how to where to quote where to write the name of your original author, where to write the name of book name, place of publication, everything. Modern Language Association is one style. Secondly, APA, American Psychological Association. Thirdly, in social sciences, humanities, and commerce and management, in most of the cases, Americans APA style and MLA style we are using while writing the references. Thirdly, Society for American Archaeology. Society for American Archaeology. They have given a documentation style. Then fourthly, American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. It's also an important style used in some medical or aerospace areas. Then fifthly, American Institute of Physics style. Physics is one subject, major subject is there. In the physics stream, people are writing their references in American Institute of Physics style. Then the next one, in medical area, they are using American Medical Association style. American Medical Association style. This is also a most important issue. Then, next one is American Sociological Association. American Sociological Association in sociology stream. They are documenting their sources, original sources in American Sociological Association. Then biomedicine, uniform requirement for manuscript submission for biomedical journals. That we will call it as vernacular style. Then Council of Science Editors is also one important style. Then American Political Science Association style. These are the major styles of writing the references which we have borrowed from original source. Maybe a book, maybe a journal, maybe a newspaper, maybe a TV episode, maybe a cartoon, maybe a film. We can draw the information from any of the sources, but we need to document those things. In social science, as I said, in social sciences, humanities, commerce and management, we are writing the references in two important styles. One is modern language association style. Secondly, American Psychological association styles. Next, and most important is, here is also Chicago manual style is also one important style of writing the reference. Then IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, is also one style of writing the reference. And Turabian is also a one type of style. In some subjects, they are using this Turabian style of writing the references. Nextly, what is meant by MLA style? Who has developed this? This Modern Language Association is a professional association for scholars and teachers of language literature founded in the year 1883. It is widely considered the leading organization of its kind in the United States. MLA's main goal is to strengthen the study and teaching of languages and literature. It also publishes the scholarly journals and provides various sources for its members. Here in MLA style is, as I have said earlier, this style is commonly used to write papers, cite sources with arts, humanities, and social sciences. Here, your writing of references begins here because you have started your research career in the year 2015 July. You are submitting your final output of research in the year 2029 December. Here, when you have referred some books, journals, or some study materials, that has to be listed out. The list of works cited appears at the end of the paper. Begin the list on a new page and number of each page. Entries, most importantly, entries in the work cited list are arranged in the alphabetical order. What we need to do in the MLA style? We need to arrange the references in the alphabetical order. Alphabetical order, which helps the reader to find the entry corresponding to the citation in the text. Nextly, citations means what? Quotations or citations are usually written. See, how to document, where to document is the question. Quotations or citations are usually written not on the piece of paper or in the notebook. Each sentence or passage is copied on a card called citation cards. Usually, the size of the card is 6 into 5. At the top of the card is noted title or heading, which helps you to know what the card contains. This is most important. You are not supposed to, because this is the most important component. You have started your work in 25, you are submitting your research in the year 2029 December. Here, you need to write the references which you have referred in the year 25 on the citation cards which are available in the market. You should also procure a smaller card. Either both of them you can take it. Either you can call it as a citation card or you can call it as a bibliography card. Size matters. Where to document? You need to refer, you need to write your references either in the citation card or in the bibliography card which is available in the market. That should be arranged in the alphabetical order. In MLA style. In MLA style, your bibliography card and citation cards must be arranged in the alphabetical order. I think one question any one of you can open up. How many of you have visited your library, good library for that matter, either IIM library or Isaac Library. For that matter, our Mysore University Library. It is also a beautiful library. Good library. System has been developed by good librarians. In our library, you can say Mysore University Library, there are two methods of where before entering into the library, listen, before entering into the library, we have a list of racks in our library or any good library for that matter. They are having catalog, that we will call it as a catalog. 2 to 3 lakh books are available in our Mysore University Library. Commerce books are around 30,000 to 40,000 commerce books, journals are there. How to, we cannot, if you search 40,000 journals or books, it will take 2 years for that searching itself. That is why before entering into the library, you are having a catalog. A big catalog is there. That catalog is arranged in our library. In one catalog, they are arranged in the author wise. For example, all subjects, author starts with A. All subjects, commerce, management, science, physics, English, Kannada, or any subject for that matter, author wise catalog is there. Abraham, A. Abraham is written a book in English. Alfred, written his book in the commerce. All the Alfonso, he has written a book in physics. All subjects, this bibliography card or a citation cards are arranged in the alphabetical order. Another rack is there. Subject catalog is there. Subject catalog is there. There, physics, chemistry, commerce, management, English. Particular subject catalog is there. If you see that catalog, if you see that you go to the commerce catalog, you are searching Philip Kotler. There, in our library, it has mentioned where that in the first floor. It has that book has kept it in the first floor, 50th rack. In that rack, third shelf it has been kept. That has been written in the catalog, subject-wise catalog. Before you enter the library, it is compulsorily you need to search the book in the particular book, what you are needed in the catalog. Either the author-wise catalog or the subject-wise catalog. Open up, because it is a dialogue session. It is not a monologue. I am not a teacher. I am also a part of your one of your partner of discussion.
Yes, sir.
Either in the catalog of any good library, before entering into the library, citation cards and bibliography cards are arranged in the catalog. The catalog name is the catalog name is either the subject catalog
Subject
or the author-wise
ಶ್ವೇತಾ ಮೇಡಮ್
catalog.
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಶ್ವೇತಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು.
Sorry, sir.
ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರೀ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೀವು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ in the citation cards and bibliography cards are available in your library. When you are started your career, you need to procure the citation cards or bibliography cards and arrange in as per the MLA style. You can arrange those cards in the alphabetical order. This is the fundamental thing. Here afterwards, how to write, what to write, how to write in the citation card and bibliography card will be the next process. I think all of you have understood this. Compulsorily, before commencement of any research, all the researchers must have to procure either citation cards or bibliography cards. And you need to write the original author's information not on the piece of paper, not on your any other book. It must be in the citation card and bibliography card, and it must be arranged in the alphabetical order. Okay, got my point?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, next. What to write in the bibliography card? You have entered in the library, you have referred some book. You have referred Marketing Management by William Stanton, Philip Kotler and William Stanton. What to write? Bibliography in your bibliography card, because you need to arrange the card in the alphabetical order and start writing in this format. The full name of the author. Secondly, the full title of the book, which is the source. Full title of the book. Thirdly, place of publication of the book, where that book has been published. All these materials must be there in your bibliography card. Place of publication of the book. Then, the name of the publisher. Then, the year of publication. Then, the page number from which the information is borrowed. Just mentioning the name will not give any result. From which page you have borrowed that your required information, from which page of that original author. These are the most around 6 to 7 important information you need to write in your either bibliography card or the citation card. This when you are writing this in the year 2025, where is it, when it will be finalized? It has to be written in your thesis. Thesis you are writing it in the year 2029. Right now.
Last
Until
chapter,
that,
sir,
you
bibliography
need to keep
reference.
this information.
ಬಿಬಿಲಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
Here, steps for preparation of the bibliography card. In that bibliography card, you cannot write 2, 3, 4 authors information. One card for each book or article. That facilitate alphabetization at the end. At the end of your thesis, you need to, because it has to be arranged in the alphabetical order. If you have referred one book, that 6 information previously I have told you now, this information of that particular book has to be written on one card. Then last name or surname first, as per the MLA style. Surname has to be written first, then other names has to be of the author. Later on, I will tell you, I will show the example. Last name first or surname first, then the other name in the next step. Third step is, next is written the title of the work. Title of the work, okay, that. Then place of given earlier, okay. Then the most important thing here is that you need to underline while writing these 6 information. Which are the information? These 6 information. This punctuation, this is most important. Punctuation marks play a major role in documentation and citation in both MLA and APA style. Next, the researcher should first of all become familiar with the racks where books are stored in an orderly manner. The catalog of a book available in the library and index cards and okay. Next, researcher finds out what books contains the material and information. Okay, that is fine. In social science research, as we are discussing, MLA style. MLA style, you are writing, you have started, you have referred some book, you have referred some journal. You have read the journal, you have read the book. If that journal or a book is written by a single author, how to write the method of documentation in the bibliography card. ನಿಮ್ಮ bibliography card ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. If the author, if the book or journal or newspaper article is written by a single author, method of documentation in the bibliography card. What is the first information? Author's last name first. For example, Philip Kotler Philip or Philip Kotler. Either way is both the okay. If author's last name must be written first. Normally, Philip Kotler is his name. Or Kotler Philip. We can say interchangeably, you can make it. Just for example, I have given. Author's last name first. Kotler, comma, Philip, full stop. Then, second one is title of the book, marketing management. Thirdly, city of publication, marketing management, full stop. See, that is why while writing the references, punctuation marks are most important. City of publication, New York, colon, see the colon, punctuation mark. Publisher, Pearson Education, comma. Date, 2024, full stop. Medium, it is in the print medium. See, method of citation in the thesis. How to write, because this is bibliography card is written in the year 2025. You are writing the citation, you are writing the citation or bibliography or reference in your thesis in the year 2029.
2020.
29, we can say. 29. Philip, comma, Kotler, full stop. See. Philip, comma, Kotler, full stop. Second one is title of the book, marketing management, full stop. Thirdly, city of publication, New York, colon. Publisher, next, Pearson Education, comma. Year of publication, 2024, full stop. Medium, in which medium? It is in the print, because online mode or any medium is there. Print medium, that I have missed out this full stop. That full stop you need to put after print. This is the way in which you need to write the reference which has been documented in the year 2025. You are writing this reference in the year 2029 at the time of publication. You need to keep this bibliography card in the bibliography until you submit your thesis or at the lifetime for that matter. Because for reference, this is the way in which I have written I have collected the information from that author. This is the way, method of citation in the thesis. This is as per MLA style. If the book or the journal or the newspaper article has been written by a single author. Next, when two authors are written the book, how to write the reference? As per ML, because in commerce, either we are using the MLA style or using the APA style. Here, when the two authors have written in the book, in the year 2025, you need to, because you have written the book, Philip Kotler and William Errol Morris, Philip Kotler and you can say William Stanton, or I have put Errol Morris. This also is first author bibliography. When the two authors are written, first author name in the last name first. Kotler, comma, Philip, comma. Second author name in normal order. And Errol Morris in normal order. It is not in reverse order. Errol Morris is his author. Title of the book, marketing management, full stop. City of publication, New York, colon. publisher, Pearson Education, comma, date 2023, full stop, print, medium print, full stop. You can, full stop, I need to put the full stop. Here, this is the bibliography card. At the end in the year 2029, you need to write the reference. In what way? First author name in the last. Philip, comma, Kotler, comma. And that you have put it here. Errol Morris. 2 authors have written this book. Full stop. Marketing management. Full stop. New York, place of publication. Colon. Publisher name. Pearson Education, comma. Year of publication 2023, full stop. It is in the print format, full stop. This is the way in which you need to write in the bibliography card. You need to write it in your reference at the end, at the time of submitting your thesis. Just for your reference, I have given the year. This card is, bibliography card is written in the year 2025. Reference, the same information you quote it in your reference in the year 2029. Then, more than 2 authors, or more than 2 authors, or more than 3 authors. How to write the, because nowadays articles are written by 2 to 3 authors, 4 authors, 5 authors like. How to write a reference if there is a 3 authors are there. If 3 authors have written the book or journal or newspaper article or whatever it may be. First author name last, Farmer John. Other authors in normal order. If more than 2, first author name must be written in the reverse order. Surname first and normal name is in the second order. Other authors in normal order. See, John, comma, and Miles, full stop. Title of the written, it is a newspaper article. Real heroes, it must be, if this article is in the newspaper, see how taken the information from where? Newspaper article. Economic Times, newspaper. Okay, if the article or newspaper article is written by more than 3 or 3 authors or more, what is the procedure as per Emily's style? First author name must be written in the normal order. Other authors, here I have written John and Miles. Title of the newspaper. If the material has been taken from the newspaper, starts with the double inverted comma, real heroes. Title of the article, this is what? Title of the article. Real heroes, comma, fake stories. Close the double inverted comma, comma. Then, newspaper title, New York Times. Date of publication, 14 September, full stop, 2024, colon. Page. And weekly, this is weekly, that is why we will call it as WK 10, full stop. Medium print. See the references. John, comma, Farmer. This is one name. Surname, Farmer is his name. Comma, John, Ajarello, comma, and Miles Kera, full stop. This is 3 authors. Newspaper article title is, starts with the double inverted comma, real heroes, comma, fake stories, full stop and close the double inverted comma. New York Times, 14th September, a CPT, full stop, 2024, colon, weekly, WK 10, full stop. It is in the print format. This is the way in which we need to write the references if the book, if the article, if the newspaper article is written by 3 authors or 3 or more authors as per MLA style.